Hello everyone. In this video I will teach you analysis of simple pin jointed frame, which is also known as trusses by force method. So basically we will see the analysis of indeterminate trusses. This is Firoz Nadaf. If you want to connect to me, you can connect to me through my social handles. This is my Twitter account, my Facebook account. I also have a Telegram channel. If you want the notes of my video material, you are requested to subscribe to my Telegram channel. The link of the Telegram channel will be shared in the description box. In this problem, we will see analysis of simple pin jointed frame, that is trusses by force method. So whenever we are dealing with analysis by force method, the very first step is to find degree of statical indeterminacy, and this is true with continuous beam and rigid jointed frame. So in continuous beam and rigid jointed frame, you have to find the total statical indeterminacy of the structure. Okay, but when you are dealing with simple pin jointed frame, you have to determine DSI as well as DSE, internal indeterminacy as well as external indeterminacy. Okay, the formula of internal indeterminacy we have seen. The formula, you can see my video. I have derived the formula of indeterminacy of trusses. The formula of internal indeterminacy is m minus 2j minus 3, where m is number of members, j is number of joint. Okay, you can count the number of members. In this particular example, the number of members are 6 and the joints are 4. This is not a joint. Here the members are just crossing. Okay, it is not a joint. Number of joints is equal to 4. 2 into 4 minus 3. So internal indeterminacy is to 1 degree. Okay. Similarly, I have to find external indeterminacy. The formula of external indeterminacy is r minus 3, where r is number of reactions. So in this particular structure, you have 2 hinge support. Each hinge support is having 2 reactions. Okay. Total number of reactions here, it will be 4. 4 minus 3 equal to 1. Okay, so after determining DSI and DSE, you have to identify the redundant. Very important step. So here you will have internal redundant as well as external redundant. Okay, the number of internal redundant is equal to DSI, the value of DSI. Here it is 1. And number of external redundant is equal to the value of DSE. Okay, so you have 1 internal redundant and 1 external redundant. So first you have to identify these redundant and you have to remove it. You have to remove the redundant in order to solve it by force method of analysis. Okay, so you see, internal redundant deals with the member. It is with respect to the members. So you have only 1 internal redundant. It means that you have to identify any one member as a redundant and you have to remove it. Okay, I will name here A, B, C, D. Okay, so I will identify AC as a redundant and I will remove it. So when you remove it, you have to show like this. Okay, so you are removing AC. You have identified member AC as a redundant and you have removed it. Okay, similarly you have to consider this external redundant. First you are required to identify the external redundant and you have to remove it. Okay, here I will identify reaction at D, horizontal reaction at D as external redundant and I will remove it. So when you remove the horizontal reaction, the hinge support will be converted into roller support. Okay, so here you will get roller support because you are removing the horizontal reaction. Okay, so you have identified one member as a redundant and you have removed it. You have also identified horizontal reaction at D as a redundant and you have removed it. Okay, so once you remove the horizontal reaction at D, the hinge support will be converted into roller support. Here we have a simple pin jointed frame problem. We are required to analyze it by force method or flexibility method. So very first step in the analysis of structure by force method, flexibility method is to find degree of statical indeterminacy. But when we are dealing with truss problem, when we are dealing with simple pin jointed frame problem, we need to determine internal indeterminacy as well as external indeterminacy. Okay, so we have DSI, which is known as degree of internal indeterminacy, the formula of which is m minus bracket 2j minus 3, where m is the number of members, j is the number of joints. You can count the number of members. For this particular structure, we are having 6 members, 6, and the joints are 4. When you solve it, you will get 1. DSE, degree of external indeterminacy, is R minus 3. R is number of reactions. So in this particular structure, it has 2 supports. One is hinge support. Hinge support will offer only 2 reactions, vertical and horizontal reactions, whereas roller support will offer only 1 reaction, that is perpendicular to the support. Means it will offer only 1 reactions. Here it will offer vertical reactions. So number of reactions here are 3. 3 minus 3 equal to 0. Okay, so we are having only degree of internal indeterminacy, that is 1 degree. Degree of external indeterminacy is 0. Okay, now we need to define the redundant. Here we have to define internal redundant, and external redundant. Internal redundant is equal to the value of DSI. Here the value of DSI is 1. So internal redundant is 1. External redundant is equal to the value of DSE. Here external redundant is 0. Now you see, we are having only 1 internal redundant. We have to identify it. Identify internal redundant. When we are dealing with internal redundant, we need to identify member. Okay, any member you can identify, any one member you can identify, and you have to remove it. Okay, so here I will identify AC member as redundant. Okay, it means that the force in the AC, the force in member AC is redundant, and we can remove it. Only one member you need to identify, because internal redundant is 1. You have to remove it. So again you have to draw the structures by removing the redundant. You don't draw AC. AC is removed. So this will be your basic structure. In the basic structure, you need to show the given load. This will be your basic structure. You also have one more structure with redundant. Structure with redundant. So here you have to show the redundant force X1. In the structure, don't have to show any given load. When you combine these two, you will get the original structure. Now we will solve for S. S is the member force developed in the basic structure due to given loading. So this is the basic structure. Here you don't have to show this. Now find the reactions developed by the support to this given loading. Here I will assume reaction VA vertically upward If I get positive, my assumption is correct. And the horizontal reaction I will assume towards left direction, because the horizontal load is going towards right directions. So this will be 50. Naturally, the reactions in the left direction will be 50 kilonewton. And here I will define vertical reaction Vd, which is vertically upward. To find V, I can take bending moment with respect to d and equate it to 0. So Va into 4 minus 100 into 4 plus 50 into 4 equal to 0. So when you calculate it, Va will be equal to 50 kilonewton. So once you get the value of Va, you can solve for Vd by using summation of f of y equal to 0. So Va, you have to consider all the vertical forces, sum them and equate it to 0. Va plus Vd minus 100 equal to 0. Substitute the value of Va here. Vd will also be 50 kilonewton. I will use method of joint concept. So when we are using method of joint concept, you have to select a joint which has only two unknowns. You cannot select a joint which has more than two unknowns, like 3 and more unknowns. We cannot take that joint because we have only two equations of equilibrium at any joint. Summation of f of x equal to 0 and summation of f of y equal to 0. So we can solve for two unknowns, we cannot solve for 3 and more unknowns. And you see, you can take joint A, initially you can take joint A, even you can take joint C. Joint A is connected to two members, means it has only two unknowns. Joint C is also connected to two members, it has two unknowns. Joint D is connected to three members, so initially we cannot take joint D. And even B is having three members, it has three unknowns. So when we are dealing with method of joints, take a joint which has two unknowns. So you can take joint C. So first I will take joint C. So whenever you are defining joint, draw the free body diagram of joint. C, it has two members, CB, CD. There is no load on joint C. There will not be any resistance offered by the member. So here this will be 0, this will also be 0. And it comes under thumb rule. So when there is no load on the joint, there will not be any force in the member. There will not be any resistance force from the member. Now I will define joint A. Joint A. Draw the free body diagram of joint A. It has two reactions, horizontal and vertical reactions. This is 50 kilonewton. Even the horizontal reaction is 50 kilonewton. Okay, to resist this vertical force, this vertical reaction, here the force, the member force will be downward, 50 kilonewton. To resist this horizontal reaction, here the member force in the member, it will be towards right direction. So when we are defining the force, defining the direction of the force of member, we have to say that the member force in member AB is towards the joint and the member force in member AD is away from the joint. So you see, these are the member forces, and we can also learn the sign convention. If the member forces are away from the joint, then it is positive. If the member forces are towards the joint, then it is negative. Okay, this is tension and this is compression. Tension will be positive and compression will be negative. You see, the member force in member AB is towards the joint. It is minus 50 kilonewton. The member force in member AD is away from the joint. Away from the joint is tension. plus 50 kilonewton. You can draw here 50 kilonewton, 50 kilonewton. Now you see which member is remaining, which member force is remaining. BD is remaining. So you can take B, joint B, or even you can take joint D. Now we can consider joint D. I have drawn the free body diagram of joint D. Joint D is connected to 3 members. We know the member force in member CD. We also know member force in member AD, which is away from the joint, 50 kilonewton. We are required to find member force in member BD. For that I have to assume that FBD is towards the joint. Okay, so you can use any equation, summation of f of x equal to 0 or summation of f of y equal to 0. You will get the value of FBD. So I am assuming here the direction towards the joint. If I am getting positive value, then my direction is correct. If I am getting negative, I have to change the direction. So I will use summation of f of y equal to 0, FBD minus FBD sine 45 plus 50. 50 is going upward. The vertical component of FBD is going downward, equal to 0. So you will get the value of FBD. FBD is equal to 70.71 kilonewton. You can write it down here. For BC it is 0. For CD also it is 0. For AC member is removed. Here the member force for AC will be 0. Just now we have calculated the member force in member BD, which is 70.71. It is towards the joint, minus 70.71. Now we will find S1. To find S1 you have to apply unit load at coordinate 1. So our coordinate 1 is the member force in member AC. So I am applying unit load away from the joint, and you have to find the member force developed in the member due to this unit load only. Here you don't have to show any given loading. So you can take joint A, and you can draw the free body diagram. So whenever you are applying unit load for the member, you don't have to find the reactions. So you can apply unit load 1 kilonewton. This is 45. Here you have D and here B. So member force in member BD I will take towards the joint. Here also I will take towards the joint. So I will apply summation of f of x equal to 0 minus FAD plus 1 cos 45 equal to 0. FAD equal to 0.707 kilonewton. Similarly, you can find FBD. Apply summation of f of y equal to 0 minus FBD plus 1 sine 45 equal to 0. FBD equal to 0.707. You can show here this is 0.707 towards the joint, 0.707. Even when you take joint C, you will get the same value, 0.707, 0.707. And when you take joint B, I will write down the value of S1. To find member force in BD, I will consider joint B, and I will draw the free body diagram of joint B. Joint B is connected to joint C and joint A. So we know the member force in member BC. We also know the member force in member AB. So here I will assume for BD, I will assume member force is away from the joint FBD. You can apply summation of f of x equal to 0 or summation of f of y equal to 0 to get the value of FBD. Summation of f of x equal to 0, FBD cos 45 minus 0.07 equal to 0. So FBD will be equal to 1 kilonewton, and we are getting positive. So it is away from the joint, positive. Now I can write down the value of S1. For AD it is, I will change the color. For AD it is minus 0.707. For BC again it is minus 0.707. For AB minus 0.707. For CD minus 0.707. For AC, in AC we have applied the load, unit load, which is away from the joint. So here you will get 1 kilonewton, and we have calculated the member force in member BD. We got 1 kilonewton, which is again away from the joint, 1 kilonewton. Now you can find the value of x1. Once you get the value of delta 10 f11, just substitute the value of delta 10 f11. Delta 10 is minus 70.71 L by AE plus f11 is 4 L by AE x1 equal to 0. You can take this term into right hand side, minus 70.71 L by AE equal to minus 4 L by AE x1. L by AE gets cancelled. X1 is equal to 17.67 kilonewton. After getting the value of x1, we can calculate member force. The formula of member force is S plus x1 into S1. S you can take from this column, S1 you can take from this column. Just substitute the value of x1. You will get the member force for each member, and this is the member force of the original structure. It is not of the basic structure. Please like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and press on bell icon to get the notification of my latest video. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you very much.